Okay, so I've been thinking about this for a while, and I've read I don't know 2 or 3 of his books, like Fire Within, I think Teachings of Don Juan, some other one. He's got like a few of them. Um, but this is a very interesting cat because he he writes almost like fiction, like kind of my favorite writers that like they kind of like write fiction, but it's based in reality, like James Clavell, but he doesn't write anything like this. His is like historical stuff. But in this case, he's writing about it like he's there. And like the basic theme is like he meets like somebody in Mexico, like a shaman or something. I don't know what you call him. Like a brujo, I guess, because you get like the bruja and you get the brujo. I mean, it sounds weird, but I think that's what you'd call a male witch in Mexico. I don't know, but he meets a guy who sort of like takes him under his wing, and he sort of teaches him and trains him, and he has all these crazy experiences. It's just I don't know, it's off the wall. I don't know. There's like no bad book in terms of like at least the entertainment level. And as far as it teaching you like spiritual stuff or like I think it has value. I think it really does. Yeah, like I said, from what I've read, first of all, I don't mess with stuff. Um, like it's just all these things. There's a lot of do's and don'ts, and there's a lot of like actual like what do you call it? Shape shifting when you get yourself into an animal or something. Um, it's just I don't know how to explain it, but because it's like too complex. Like to me, the Mexican stuff is like even more like hardcore than the Hawaiian stuff. Um, yeah, like a bruja would be the scariest thing ever. Um, yeah, like there's a couple people I know who are Hispanic that if they really wanted to be brujas, they could do it, but they know that and they won't because they're too smart because they don't want to get involved in that stuff. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, they don't want to mess with it because they know like they just know stuff. Like if you read these books, you'll figure it out. Um, yeah, I don't like know how to explain it, but it's very powerful, and you don't. It's cool to read about though, because you'll kind of get like an education about it. Um, and if you're smart, you'll be like, oh, I don't want to do that, but it's interesting to know. And yeah, because this stuff is like, wow, uh, it's something else. And like, yeah, the stuff south of the border is like, I yeah, whoa. Um, but uh, I don't know. There's like different things. Like his what happens is like this guy that you see, the guy with the short hair. He basically met like somebody down there in Mexico, or maybe he met him in L.A. I forget. And he called him a benefactor, and he said he would teach him the ways if he wanted to learn. And he was like, curiosity killed the cat kind of thing. And so he went down there. He spent all this time. He learned all this stuff. Um, he like went into other realms. He shapeshifted according to this book. Now it is marketed as fiction, okay? So, but it's got an eerie tinge of reality to it. Kind of books I like, to be honest. Those are the kind I can't put down. So, anyway, he basically like learned a bunch of stuff from this guy, and they did weird stuff like staring into the water or a mirror until like something happened or something, or until they could see like beyond themselves, into like another realm or something like that. Uh, and then like kind of like a crystal ball kind of thing. And then they did all kinds of crazy things. There was like group of people that would like hang out with the benefactor, the Don Juan guy, and he would get certain things going. Like I don't know, like it was weird. It was like it's hard to explain. It's like something you got to read. I know that the Don Juan guy had said like never to do a love spell because he like fell in love with his neighbor's wife, and he did one, and it worked, and it ruined both of their lives. Like she lost their marriage, and he didn't. Like he didn't. It just ruined everything. So don't do that. But there's other things like they I don't know how to explain it. They like fight like giant scorpions like that are like spirits or something in the desert, or they transport themselves somewhere else. I don't know how much of this is fiction. I don't know how much of it's real. That's the thing about like south of the border. Because when you start talking to people, like we had this friend from Paraguay, you know, and she swore up and down that her dad spoke regularly with a man who had wings, who would come from the jungle to their house. Like she spoke about it like it was regular. So they live in like a different reality than we up here, I guess. Most people here wouldn't even believe that or entertain that. Um, this book's like kind of halfway between here and there. Um, so it's very interesting. If you're so inclined to begin to get yourself exposed to this sort of stuff, I mean, it's fun to read anyway. You know, it's not gonna send you straight to hell for reading it. It's interesting, and there's lots of different like things where they go out in the desert and do this and do that, and you know, it's I know I keep sounding like perplexed, but anyway, I thought I would bring up Carlos Castaneda's books because they are kind of like Robert Anton Wilson. You can't put him down, but Robert Anton Wilson, well, he did write fiction, but he's more the chaos magic kind of guy. Uh, but this stuff is like, I don't know. I think if it's real, this Carlos Castaneda guy was curious, so he went down there and to Mexico with this guy, and they'd spend a bunch of time in the desert and they'd do a bunch of stuff and stuff that I probably couldn't handle. No, nah, not even close. Never, even at a young age, no way. Like even at like 20, I wouldn't be able to handle this stuff. But it's kind of interesting to read. And yeah, like I said, I've read The Teachings of Don Juan and The Fire Within, and I can't remember the other book I read. There's more. I think there's like 4 or 5 books. I don't know, maybe more. But they are on like major publishers, so you can find this stuff anywhere. Uh, it's kind of fascinating if you get into it. Like if you're curious about this kind of stuff, which I was. Like I wouldn't practice it in any way, but knowledge is power. So